Hi guys, welcome back to the Sicilian Revival. My name is Chris, aka Big Will, and today we go into games away against Genoa and at home against Palermo. Both sides not having the best of starts. They're sat in the bottom half of the league at the moment, whereas we are sat in 8th place after our opening 5 matches. It, I'll be honest, it has been a little bit hit and miss and very strange results, to say the least. Um, our opening league game, of course, as you saw in yesterday's episode, was a 1-0 draw at home against Brianza. We then went away and won 2-0 against Napoli. And I'll be honest, we played some extremely good football at Napoli as well. So I was really happy to get the result. And then we followed it up with a 3-2 win at home against Cremonese. We were actually 3-0 up. We did let them get back into it, and it is something that we are going to have to be careful of this season with teams because obviously they will be more than capable of getting back into it. However, we certainly got derailed away against Barry. We lost by 5 goals to 1, and every single attempt they had at goal, they converted. We were absolutely dire at the back, and it was just one of them games, unfortunately. We then played Cagliari at home and managed a 1-0 draw. Justin Valenzuela getting his first goal for the club coming off the bench on his debut, I might add as well. And it was a good goal and it got us a point. So we're not looking too bad at the moment, but I do remember when we played in Serie A the season before last, we started reasonably well that season. And then eventually we just completely lost touch of everything. So going into these 2 matches today, it's going to be very, very tough. We know that. Normal looking setup in terms of the way the squad is. Marone is our best striker, believe it or not. I prefer him in that attacking midfield role, if truth be told, just because he's got that extra bit of quality. And Malaka or Bar will play up front today. Bar's still struggling a little bit for fitness at the moment. But other than that, the team is pretty much set. Unfortunately, Nunziante is in goal. Brazil is the unfortunate part of it. He is injured and he's going to be out for a few weeks, I think, as well. Just about a week, and Capechi's out long term, unfortunately. We did have one more sale. Jean Solis, who came in January on a free transfer last year, he has left the club. He's left the club on loan, but there is a mandatory future fee for him. So he will be out of the door come the end of the season. And we've replaced him with 22-year-old Belgian under-21 international Abu Bangora. I think he's a very good central midfield player. He's only 5'9" though. Physical wise, he's not too bad, and technical wise, with mental attributes, he's reasonable as well. So hopefully, as time goes on, he will also be able to come into the side and do well for us. He is on a lot of money though. That is the only downside. He's on a lot more money than I wanted to pay him. But we are getting into a position where we can afford to pay out a little bit more for these players. So hopefully, um, there won't be too many issues going forward. But going into today's matches, I'm not too sure what to expect. Like I say, we've been a little bit hit and miss so far. Genoa have drawn 3 of their last 5 games with a win and a defeat in the other 2. So if we can get a point today, I'll be quite pleased, if truth be told. Here is Tananda into Maturo, into Frendrup. Now Yaboa into Retegui, back to Yaboa, and they're moving it very easily around our midfield here. And Ross sliding in, and he got a touch onto it, but unfortunately couldn't keep hold of the ball. And now Ali looks to play the reverse pass, and Giovannini does find Retegui, and he's put it wide. And that is a big chance in the opening few minutes there for Genoa. We've actually had an attempt on target before that as well. So it could be a close game today, but we really need to behave ourselves defensively, and that is exactly what we haven't done there. Boudouis with the header, Nunziante beaten in the 6-yard box, unfortunately, and we find ourselves behind early on. It's not ideal, and we're going to offer a little bit of encouragement to the side because, you know, losing 1-0 is not the end of the world, but the fact that we've gone behind so early isn't a good omen, is it? Let's be honest. And I mean, we've both only had one shot on target. Both sides not doing too well in front of goals. You know, I have had a lot more chances though. as they look to play out from the back here with Maturo. And now Fior. Back to Maturo again. Now Fior again. They clearly play much shorter passing, patient build-up style of play. Fior into Frendrup, and now Yeboah into Retegui. Fior over the top. A good header from Kumbedi finds Higo. Not too much support, and they do press quite quickly here. Musto into Morone, who charges forward, finds Thiago Schmidt, needs support. He had loads of room on this left-hand side for Vasic, and we've just not played it out to him, which is a bit odd, really. So Higo finds Malaka. Now Verratti into Higo again. Now Schmidt, finally, we seek the width of the pitch here, and Schmidt goes into the penalty area, and it's been put in to his own goal by the goal scorer, Boudouis. So a goal at both ends for the Genoa defender, and we find ourselves level. We worked the move quite well, but again, at times we had a lot of space on this left-hand side with Vasic when Schmidt cut in a little bit more, and Genoa will feel a little bit hard done by with that, I think. But at the same time, we'll certainly take it. I mean, they've had 75% possession. We've been shocking in relation to actually getting on the ball, and I've let the lads know that we've got to improve possession-wise. We've really got to pick it up in this second half, and it's just, if we don't get the ball, we're not going to do anything with it, are we? But we are level, and somehow we're holding our own despite not seeing a lot of possession. So going into this last half an hour, I'm not too sure whether I want to change too much at the moment, but unfortunately with this setup that we play, unfortunately we do sacrifice a lot of possession, and Verratti doing well to get that clear, but it's fallen for Jakic, who strikes it beautifully, and it took a slight deflection, I think, there, and again, Nunziante is beaten. It's Jakic's first goal for Genoa, and with half an hour to go, I suspect that is going to be the nail in the coffin, unfortunately. They've been by far the better side, and, I mean, it's difficult because we we know we haven't got the quality, and I think that's the hard bit to accept in all this. We just haven't got that necessary quality to be able to counteract this possession. I mean, I'm tempted to go for the gegenpress style, and really try and get at teams, but again, I just don't think we've got the quality, which is really unfortunate. But it's the reality of the situation. Um, so we'll just have to knuckle down and see what we can do. Coliseco, Rivera, Burdick and Bart are going to come on just to see if they can make any kind of change to the match. And we'll confirm those changes, and we'll go attacking. We'll see if it helps at all. I can't imagine it will, as Jakic picks it up on the edge of the penalty area, tries to cut inside, but we force him out quite well there, really. But again, they're just dominating the ball constantly. We're doing a lot of chasing at the moment. And Maturo lays it back to Tananda in goal. Now Boudis into Frendrup in the midfield. Lays it back to Jakic again. And now Frendrup into El Halali. Good tackle from Vasic. And now Verratti. Oh, my word. I mean, we've gotten away with one there. Giovannini hitting the post. But we can't be making mistakes like that. And it's all Genoa here. We'll do well not to concede a third, and there is a penalty. It was a dangerous pass into the penalty area. Retegui got there ahead of Vasic just about, and Vasic has ended up going through him instead of the ball. And that is going to be the end of that, I think. We'll just drop back to positive because I don't think it's going to make any difference whatsoever now. Retegui scores the penalty, and that is game over. But again, it's been a poor performance. We haven't had any of the ball at all, and we are going to have to change tactic, I think, to be honest, because we're clearly not good enough in this setup. We've seen some decent results, and we have shown at times that we can score goals from it. But the lack of possession is such a danger because, as you know, the other team has a lot of the ball. They're more likely going to create chances and score. So Kambedi with a delivery into the penalty area, and Mamadou Ba wins the header, and it's off the crossbar. Bit unlucky, really, from our point of view. But Genoa looking to counter-attack with Casario, and now Yeboah into Matoro, and luckily it comes to nothing. But I mean, 14 attempts to our 5 Genoa have had today. 4 on target, 3 on target for 72% possession. That's the killer. It really is. And I think we have got some thinking to do here. And it's a very lazy performance, unfortunately. Um, I mean, the fact of the matter is, we're 4 points clear of the bottom 3, even though we're in the top half of the table, we're 4 points from the bottom 3, and we're 1 point behind the European places. It's too early in the season to even be thinking remotely about that. But I think a change of tactic is imminent. The problem is, for Schmidt, for example, we've agreed to play him at left midfield. Now, it's very possible that he could get recalled by Chelsea if we start pushing him further forward, but I think that is going to be the way we're going to have to go. So we've got a week to go before the home game against Palermo, so bear with me, and hopefully a better performance will be incoming. Okay then guys, here we go for the game at home against Palermo. We are above them in the table at the moment, but our form is very hit and miss. We are changing our setup a little bit. We're going to a 4-2-3-1. The wingers are going to be on a support mentality. The attacking midfielder will get up there with the striker, but we are pushing our defence a little bit further forward as well. And in making these changes, hopefully we can find a way to get something out of the game. We're going for a much more aggressive style of play, so hopefully we can get onto the ball a little bit more. It would be quite nice. Going to be a debut for Bangura in midfield. He will partner with Musto. And I'm not too sure why, but my assistant manager doesn't really like playing Sacco at the moment. And I'm not entirely sure what the reasoning is behind that because he's been such a key player for us over the years, hasn't he? So, bit of a strange one, but we'll see how things go and give Bangura his debut. Other than that, the squad is pretty much at full strength. Marone is going to start up front with Burdick in behind today. Brazil is back in goal. So we'll see how things go in today's match. And we're still trying to figure out what the best style of play, the best system is for this league. We seem to do well now where Serie B is concerned. Obviously, we've been promoted the last 2 attempts in Serie B, but it, the step up to Serie A last time round was too much, and I'm hoping we can find a way at some point this season to grind out a few results just to try and keep us in the league, because from a financial perspective, it would be huge for the club. So going into this game, let's see how we get on. I'm looking hopefully to get a little bit more possession in the game, create more chances, and just look a bit, in general, a little bit more like a dangerous side. And it would be quite nice, wouldn't it? 20 minutes have gone, 3 attempts at goal, just the one on target, but 60% possession. They're looking a little bit better. But of course, the only slight issue in doing this is we do lack a little bit of quality in comparison to some of the other sides, and we could get caught out playing in this particular manner. But if we're not going to go out there to try and win games from the start, there's no point in doing it at all. And of course, first half, no highlights at all, and it's 0-0. But we have been the better side. But we do need to just pick it up a little bit going into this second half, and hopefully we will do. But so far, a little bit disappointed. But again, in every single game, because of the nature of the quality of the sides in this league and comparison to ourselves as well, if we can get a point from any match, and especially if we can get 3 points out of any games, we'll be delighted, if truth be told. And if we can get like a 0-0 draw today against Palermo, to me, is a good result. And if we can get it playing well, even better. And so far, it certainly seems to be how things are going to go. Marone has been shocking up front, a 6.2 rating for him. We're not making any changes because, to be fair, we've done pretty well today. But for a full game to have no highlights, I don't think I've ever seen that. And that was a very short second half of this episode. But we've kept a clean sheet, so there's a novelty in itself. 61% possession, a lot of fouls from both sides. It was clearly a very disjointed game. But overall, Marome's the worst performer. Good defensive performances from Vasic, Verratti, and Brazil. Burdick not having a bad game either. But unfortunately, we just couldn't uh, find a way to get a goal in that game. But we certainly played a lot better, and hopefully performances like that will continue. But obviously, it would be nice to get the results to go along with them, wouldn't it? So we'll take it. That is for sure. 21 days until our next match against Fiorentina. That's a huge gap, isn't it? Um, to be quite honest, we're probably going to be looking at AC Milan and Udinese at the end of November, and then we'll see what happens from there. Some relatively tough games in the meantime. Fiorentina away, Sassuolo away, both reasonably tough games. I mean, Roma at home, obviously before AC Milan at home, that's going to be tough as well. And Torino away. We'll just see what we can do, and hopefully, we can get some wins. Well, any kind of points, but wins, especially. Hopefully, we can get one or two on the board as we go. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.